I remember hearing the story of a woman whose husband gave her kids a belt and asked them to hit her with it. Many people will call this physical abuse, and of course it is physical abuse. But I'm pretty sure that the pain and agony that that woman will have felt will have come from the humiliation of having her own kids hit her. Today we are talking about something that's at the very heart of emotional abuse, and that is humiliation and shaming. Doing this video is very difficult for me because I know what it means to be humiliated and shamed by a partner. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a couple of ways that your partner may be humiliating you, so that if you're experiencing any of this, you know that it is not okay and that's the sign of emotional abuse. So the first way that your partner may be humiliating you is that they're making you do things that are dehumanizing, or they are putting you in situations that dehumanize you. Now, the story I started with is of a man who was not trying to hurt his wife physically, but was trying to cut straight at her heart. And so he chose to use her kids to hit her. It's bad enough if he himself was hitting her, but having her own kids actually do the hitting is a very, very mean thing to do. And it's a man who clearly wanted to humiliate his wife. I remember reading an article and I saw an excerpt from a book. I'm going to put up the article on the book somewhere up for you. And it was about how a woman spoke of how her husband used to make her go on her knees and hands and make sounds like an animal. I heard of a story of another woman whose husband won't let her sleep on the bed or makes her sleep on the floor because according to him, she was of so little value that she didn't deserve to sleep on a bed. I heard of another woman whose husband used to make her sleep in the storeroom and sleep with, junk and all of that. All of these things are ways that a partner can dehumanize, and I can give you so many more examples. If you're in a situation where your partner is making you do things that make you feel like we're worth nothing, that make you feel like we're an object, like a piece of property, please know that that is not acceptable, and you should not be in such a relationship because it is complete emotional abuse. Another way that your partner could be humiliating you is that they are just condescending. And when I say condescending, I mean that they make you feel like you're inferior to them. And you see it in the way that they speak to you, in the way that they look at you, in their mannerisms around you. So there are times when they could look at you with complete disgust on their face, or they could roll their eyes in a way that makes you feel like you're nothing. Or perhaps you wanted to talk to them about something and they don't even look at you, they don't even acknowledge your presence. They just look the other way and wave their hand. Or maybe it's their choice of words. They say things like, only someone who's dumb will say something like that. Or what you did is only done by people who don't have brains. They're just constantly saying things that make you feel inferior. They belittle your achievements. So maybe you got a promotion at work, you got a new job, you won a competition, you passed an exam, anything. And you're telling them about it and you're so excited. And then they just look at you and say, well, I did that when I was much younger. Or that's nothing to be excited about. That's not such a big deal. Anybody can do that. They're just constantly making you feel like all your effort, all your work means nothing. And they're constantly trying to put you in a place where you are beneath them. In fact, there are times when they outrightly tell you that you are inferior to them. They tell you that you are beneath them, that you are worth nothing before them. They tell you that they are much better than you are, and that you are lucky that you get to date them or that you got to marry them. Because on a normal day, they will not date someone like you because you are below their standard and their level. Your partner should not be talking to you in this way. Another way that your partner could be humiliating you is that they're sarcastic or they crack mean jokes at your expense. So when I say they're sarcastic, I mean that they say one thing when they mean another. And they say it with the aim to hurt you, to wound you. So let's assume you saved up and you bought your partner a gift and you're so happy because you think they're going to like it. And then they collect the gift from your hand and they say, wow, this is the best you could really do. I see you putting a lot of effort into getting me this. And then they toss it aside. That's them being sarcastic. And that's, a way that they're making you feel as if all of your effort means absolutely nothing. or you planned a weekend getaway, or you made preparations for a special dinner, whatever. And then you just come and they say, "Pff, I can see you did a great job." But the way that they're saying it, the tone of voice, the way they're looking at you, you know that what they're saying is different from what they really mean. Maybe your partner is not sarcastic to you. Maybe they just crack mean jokes at your expense. So perhaps you're studying for an exam and then they come and they laugh and they say, I don't even know why you're bothering yourself. We already know you're going to fail. And then when you call them out and say that's a mean thing to say, they just laugh and say, I was just joking. Or they say, oh my goodness, you're just a fatso. And then when you complain about it, they say, I was just joking. Why are you being so sensitive? It's not such a big deal. They're constantly hiding their mean words behind jokes. Please know that that is not acceptable. That is wrong. Your partner should not be making fun of you. Sometimes they just outrightly make fun of you. They laugh at things. They laugh in situations where you're at a disadvantage. Maybe you're walking out, we're going somewhere with them, and then maybe your heel broke or something happened to you. And instead of coming to help you, they start laughing at you. Your partner should not be doing things like that. Maybe you wear a pretty dress and they say, ha ha ha, I see you putting an effort into looking good today. Things that are not funny, but they are saying it in ways that, that seem like a joke. That's a no, absolutely. The fourth way that your partner could be humiliating you is that they outrightly insult you. They call you derogatory names, they lash out at you, or they curse you out. I know that for certain people, they think cursing a person out is not such a big deal. That's the way they were raised or whatever. But please know that your partner should not be cursing you out. They shouldn't be calling you derogatory names. They shouldn't be insulting you. They shouldn't be using certain words that are not words that esteem you, that bring out the best in you. Your partner should not be using those words on you. I'm going to put up a couple of those words because my mouth cannot speak such horrible words. So if your partner is making use of any of these words when they address you, please know that that is absolutely wrong. Another way that your partner could be humiliating you is that they embarrass you in public. And there are different ways that they could be embarrassing you. They could do it in an obvious manner, or it could be covert. So when I say an obvious manner, I mean maybe you went out with them to a party, for a get-together, for whatever, and they start yelling at you, or they start insulting you, or they start calling you names, they start, acting in ways that makes everybody turn their attention to you, and you begin to feel ashamed because of their behavior. Your partner should not be doing things like that to you. But there are certain people who are more covert in the way that they embarrass you. And so perhaps you are in a group of friends, with a group of your friends, and they basically ignore you. I remember hearing a woman who spoke about how her husband and her, they will go out for a function, party, and they'll be seated on a table with a couple of other people. And throughout the function, her husband will not say a word to her. In fact, he'll pretend like she's not there. So he will talk and smile and chat with every other person on that table, especially the women at the table, but completely ignore her. So if she tries to talk to him, he'll just pretend he didn't hear. That's embarrassing because everybody can see that this person is clearly giving you a cold shoulder and they are doing it in public. Let me quickly chip in something here. One of the reasons why many people don't notice this humiliation, especially at the beginning of the relationship, is because abusive people have a way of hiding their bad behavior behind things that seem justifiable. So let me give you an example of what I mean. Perhaps your partner asked you to pass them a cup of coffee or a drink, and you accidentally spilled it on their brand new suit. And then they begin to yell. Of course, anybody will be upset by that, right? But an abusive person will take it overboard. They'll begin to curse you out, yell at you, insult you, say very belittling things at you, and all of that. And because you're already feeling guilty, you already feel bad about what you have done, you will excuse their behavior and say, oh, what I did was really bad, And so you sort of give an excuse for the bad way that they are behaving. Please don't do that. Your partner has no right to shame you or humiliate you because they're upset. They should not attack you and insult you because you made a mistake. That's not an acceptable way for your partner to be relating with you. So if you just started a relationship with someone and you have experienced it on one or two occasions where your partner started insulting you, started humiliating you because you did something wrong, or because you made a mistake, or because they had a stressful day, or because somebody else upset them, please don't give them any excuse. Don't stand for it. Cut off that relationship quickly. Because the thing about abusive people is that they push your boundaries. So the first time they do it, they'll come and apologize. And they're very good with false, grandiose apologies. They'll come and cry and say, I don't know why I did that. I didn't mean to do it. I'm sorry for insulting you. I don't know what came over me. And begin to cry. They say, oh, punish me. You can do your own back and all of that. Just to, sort of cloak their bad behavior. And if you let it slide the first time, you let it slide the second time, you'll keep pushing until it gets to a point where they are constantly humiliating you, where they are constantly shaming you. So if you are starting out a relationship and your partner does something that humiliates you, that makes you feel ashamed once or twice, please cut them off, regardless of how much they are begging, regardless of how they try to give you excuses for their behavior. It's simply not acceptable. Humiliation is something that is at the very core of emotional abuse. In fact, a large portion of emotional abuse is actually your partner humiliating you, trying to dehumanize you, trying to make you feel like you are worth nothing. And if you're watching this, I want you to know that you are worth much more than what your partner is doling out to you, and that you have all the rights to ask them to treat you better. And if they're not willing to treat you better, please don't stay with them, because you value yourself, even if they don't value you. There are many more signs of emotional abuse, and I'm currently doing a playlist and have talked about a lot of other signs. So if you haven't watched those videos, please watch them. Please also like this video. It will encourage me and, give me the boost I need to make more videos. And if you're willing to share in the comment section some of the ways that your partner has humiliated you, I know that sharing such things can be quite difficult. But if you want to share because you want to unburden, please feel free to do so in my comment section. Trust me, I have a pretty good idea of how you feel because I've experienced the same thing. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and I pray that you get something better, that you get someone better, because you deserve better. Bye-bye.